What's up, Lightning fans? Rachel West and Ed Encina here in Sunrise at Florida Live Arena, getting you ready for the Lightning's second round matchup against the Panthers later tonight. And Ed, of course, this is a rematch of last year's Sunshine State Showdown. Sunshine, sunglasses. I like it.
Let me tell you something, Rachel. I'm so glad to be back in sunny Florida. But yes, a big rematch. These two teams played in the first round of last year's playoffs, a six-game series that was won by the Lightning. And it's funny because the Panthers talk about, we know about the Panthers in the season that they had this regular season, winning the President's Trophy, but they talk about that series last year as a learning moment for them. They learned from playing the Lightning and ultimately falling to the Lightning what it takes to win in the postseason. Now they've done it. They beat the Capitals in 6 games, and now the next big challenge for them is the Lightning. It's actually perfect timing for them. Like, this is the hump that they have to get over as a franchise, no matter how many games they win in the regular season. And I don't think that you could ask for more with this matchup. It's going to be a great matchup, much like the Lightning's one against Toronto that they just survived in 7 games, and a lot of offense, a lot of physicality, and a lot of skill.
Absolutely. It's definitely a hump that the Panthers have gotten over to get here, but the Lightning are also in the process of making their own history and their own dynasty. So they definitely want to see that through. Something that we saw in the first round that was obviously key was the goaltending with Andrei Vasilevskiy making all the crazy stops back there, and the defense. How big are those two things going to factor into this series as well?
Yeah, so we talked to Vasilevskiy. We don't talk to him much, but we did the other day. And one thing, he admitted that there wasn't something right, that something just didn't feel right about this team. They didn't really play off emotion as well. They had trouble closing out games in the third period, and we saw that earlier in the series against Toronto. Now, what we saw Vasilevskiy really take over a game when you look at that overtime in Game 6 and into games throughout Game 7. And that's really the Andrei Vasilevskiy that we need to see here in this series. But a big part of it, as well as Vasilevskiy played, it's also the defense in front of him. Again, those last 4 periods, including the overtime of Game 6, 32 blocked shots by the Lightning. They're getting in front of the net. They're preventing, the opponent from getting good looks at the goal, and they're preventing them from, taking away Vasilevskiy's line of sight. So those are all important things. They're important things in the Toronto series in this year. They were important things in the Florida series last year, and they're going to be important things here this week.
Absolutely, and something else that's going to be very important for the Lightning is that they're most likely going to be without Brayden Point for a good bit, probably highly unlikely, at least for Game 1. What kind of an impact is that going to have?
Well, obviously, we saw, it's interesting because we saw what an impact Brayden Point made in that first round series until he got hurt. And then you kind of saw the way that the Lightning reacted after he got hurt. And they really locked down. They played their best defensive game that we've seen, honestly, in probably months. And, they're going to have to carry that on. Nick Paul did a really good job taking over the defensive assignment that Brayden had, which was, basically, shadowing Austin Matthews. So you'll see those kind of matchups again in this series. But, John Cooper's, I don't know how much you take into the whole highly unlikely / day-to-day after today. We all saw, the visible pain that Brayden Point was in. I'll be honest, I'll be surprised to see him in this series, but you never really know. I mean, the postseason is all about sacrifice. It's all about playing through pain, all about playing through hurt. So, maybe we do see him at some point here.
Exactly. You never know in the playoffs. Well, as you guys continue to get ready for this game tonight, I'm going to go get my own pair of shades. But make sure you're keeping up with all of our coverage that we've got for you over on Sports by Tampa Bay Times on social media and over at tampabay.com.